All right, guys, good morning. We're just going to kick off. I want to be sure that everyone is on call. Emmanuel, you're here. Vicky, are you here? So if you're here, please, you just respond when I call you so that I'm sure that uh, you're on call. Emmanuel?
Hi.
All right, Vicky.
Hi.
Bisola. All right, Bishop. All right.
Hamid.
All right. I guess we're trying to get Shekinah in. So today we're going to be covering two things. One is, it totally skipped my mind because I was so excited about Precious's session. That's the class that was supposed to come before our session. And then we're going to run into today's zone. But because Precious has already done justice to a lot of the things that I would have rather mentioned, because it's a build up to her session. So the run through of that particular session or that class might be quicker than usual, so that we can have ample time to spend on what we have for today. But yeah, so how have we been? Emmanuel, how has been the experience so far?
I've really liked it. I think I'm trying to find a way to incorporate it into my already existing flow, like the stuff we've already learned so far, but I'm thinking I should just wait till I've learned everything first. But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I really like the second one we did and having to review like a case study, and then I really enjoyed Precious' class last week as well. All the ads are really inspiring. Some of them were sad, but yeah, some of them are really inspiring.
All right, no problem. Vicky, how has it been so far?
It's been insightful. It just one of the things I'm grateful for is, how do I put it? There are things that I see now, that articles, things that I stumbled upon now, that it's not necessarily new, but it just somehow, probably maybe like when I read it before now, I didn't exactly understand fully. So now like there's like a new light that is being, you get my drift. So, and another thing is, I think it has somehow, not somehow, like my perception about brands has greatly shifted. And I'm writing more now, so thank you.
That's exciting to hear. Bishop, how has it been so far?
Should have been good. This how that you now know exactly what you want to do with the whole on communications thingy. Before you'd see something and you not really know what is going on there. But now you know exactly what you want to do. And I think I enjoyed Precious sessions last week. It just blew everything up. It just made everything make sense. So it has been insightful for me. It has been good.
All right, that's exciting to hear. Bisola.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, so I'm asking, so how has it been? How has the sessions been so far?
I think so far the sessions have helped to understand a lot of things that were entirely confusing, or not, maybe not confusing, but you just don't get the old gist of it. So yeah, basically more insightful.
All right, I'm glad to hear the feedback. It warms my heart. Thank you so much. So in view of that, let's dive right into today's, not today, the first thing that we're going to have for today before we move into the second. So we're still going to be talking about reactional branding. And to start off or to kick off, we're going to be looking at what to do when we have competitors in this space. So this is a quote from Tosin. Tosin she's also in the creative industry. She works with a creative agency, a creative advertising agency based out of Canada, and she has worked on specific ads, including McDonald's and etc. So she was one of the persons I reached out to when putting the class together, and her excerpts of our conversation in the class notes. So I was asking her about reactional branding, how brands behave, and in that sense, how brands behave to each other in this space, or how brands struggle, or what to get into the minds of their clients, to get into the minds of their customers. Well, clients is just entering my mouth these days. To get into the minds of their customers. And so Tosin would say that the key thing is to not center your strategy on competition. So do not fight back based on the fact that, oh, this person has launched this particular ad, so we now in return, we are going to launch this particular ad. And I think Precious made mention of that subtly when she referred to the bank wars after Sterling Bank dragged all other banks, and we saw that, okay, she was able to highlight that, okay, GTB didn't actually respond to that because it was not on brand for them to respond to it. So they just focused on their food and drink week that was coming up. And yeah, there we have it. So moving on, shooting blanks. So the idea of brands doing what they do or trying to communicate with their target audience is more like being at a range and you are shooting. So I've never been at a range, but when I was younger, there's this game I used to play that ducks would be passing and you'll be shooting the ducks. I think we used to play it when we go to amusement park or something. But so branding entails all the efforts made to influence and maintain the perception your customers have of you. So your job is to ensure that every shot counts for something. So it might not hit the target, but it must be accounted for. So you're not doing Victor would say that one of the things he wants to do in life is to ensure that brands stop engaging in random acts of branding. So they don't know why they are doing this, but they just, this thing feels good, or they see a competitor doing a particular thing and they jump on it, because if these guys are doing it, then it's supposed to make sense, and then they jump on it. And we see that behavior resonate so strongly in the African market, or with brands in the African market, even down to people that are starting out their own businesses on campuses and in other areas. We see people do a particular thing because their friend did it, or they respond in a particular way because that's how their friend responded. So as a brand, or as someone who manages a brand, you should be able to navigate around conversations like this and ensure that everything that you are doing counts for something. Remember, your job is basically mapping out the journey, as I wrote this morning. Your job is basically drawing out a roadmap to get your organization or to get your client from point A to point B. So all of the things in that journey should be relevant for the journey. So you shouldn't allow your client or your organization take a 360 turn just because another organization took a 360 turn and you do not know what made them take that turn, but you're like, if everybody they run, go back, me safe, make I run, go back. So it's almost synonymous to shooting blanks. Like, you know, you're making a lot of noise, but you're not, what's the word? You're not, the what you're shooting is not effective because the gun is empty. You're just shooting blank. So you basically make a lot of noise. People know, you get people's attention, but at the end of the day, you not effectively hit the target that you are aiming at, which is like the minds of people, or to get yourself in the minds of people. Now, you can't out Amazon. This is called out from a story about, there was a particular brand I was looking for. I was looking for them. I couldn't find it. I came across it in one article I was reading some time back, maybe earlier in the year, about a brand that came because they saw Amazon was dominating the retail space, and they basically copied Amazon's business strategy and all of that. So they lowered their pricing and they did everything that Amazon did. But at the end of the day, if Amazon's response was just to go lower, because they already have a structure that ensures that no matter how low they set their prices for the goods that are listed on their stores, they're still going to break even. They're still going to make money. But you don't know why Amazon, they didn't know why Amazon did what they did, but and so the marketing communications manager in the organization then was just trying to beat Amazon at their own game. So they finally fired him, and employed a new marketing communications manager. And the first thing that the person did on the first day was to print a big banner and put it at the front of their store and said, "You can't at Amazon." And so that was like a reset for them in their head. But so in another article I was reading by Andy Dunn, he said that the next generation of e-commerce companies is as much about what you exclude as what you include. It's a paradox that excluding some things take more time than including everything. It's as though so we find a lot of people, or a lot of startups come out and say, or a number of startups come out and say that I want to become the next Google. And I know some of us, we might have encountered people like this who a client comes and say, okay, I want to design this. I want you to help me. This is the type of business I run and everything. And you're like, okay, what inspired you to go down this route? And you're like, oh, I want to be the next Google. That in the next 5 years, I want to beat, in the next 5 to 10 years, I want to beat Google at their own game and stuff like this. And you just be looking at the person, like, I want my logo to be better than Google's logo and to be better than Apple's logo. That if I put it beside Apple's logo, it would overshadow Apple's logo. And you're just looking at the person like, who gave you? What did you drink? What did you drink? So it's not really about it's as someone that would be handling branding or strategy for organizations, and you'll be trying to communicate to their audiences. It's not really about saying everything. It's about knowing exactly what to not say and knowing exactly what to say. And so it conclusively wraps up to, don't be a copycat. It pays to be a thief and a copycat. And please, as I said, I put a strong caveat here. Please don't quote me outside. So the reference of it pays to be a thief is from Still Like an Artist. So so that you know the context in which I am saying it pays to be a thief. Right? So moving on, do you have any questions so far?
Yeah. Hi. Sorry. The story you're referring to, the you can't out Amazon. Do you have a link to it, please?
I will find it. Like, I really tried to find it. That was even when I stumbled upon this guy's article. It was a random morning, and I was in the rabbit hole of the internet. I came across the story, but I'll look for it again and
All right.
and share.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So so just like we said, that it's not really about knowing, it's not really about saying everything. It's about knowing what exactly you should say and what exactly you shouldn't say. And so your brand needs to have a clear sense of the following: your unique selling proposition or unique selling point. What makes you different? This could be something about your product offering or your service or efficiency. Your brand promise: what are you assuring your consumers that they get from you? This should be directly connected to your unique selling proposition and why you exist. So if you don't have a clear sense of why you are even in the business then you are in, then you'd be swayed by every wind. Victoria wrote like a she wrote a Medium post, I think last week or so, I think with the same title. Funny enough, I've prepared this slide before you wrote your distance, so please don't shoot me in the head. And so the whole point of Can You See Me, it's just like you wrote, is that you're in a business and you are speaking to customers. So your customers want to feel heard, they want to feel seen. So, and if you are just talking and talking and talking and making a lot of noise, and you are actively not actually addressing what I want to be addressed, or you are not addressing my pain points, and you claim to be in the market to solve my problem, you know that, yeah, I'm basically going to leave you in like maybe the next second, because you are not solving my pain points. You are not solving my problem. It's as if you are going to it's as if you are going out to jog, let me put it that way, and then you normally at the front of your house, these Okada men are usually, or at your junction, Okada men are parked there. You know, definitely it's on a good day, you enter Okada if you are to go to where you want to eventually jog to. But that day you decided to jog. You know that the Okada men will be calling you on normal, they'll call you, sister, you they go. Like one bike man in Accra will just drive to the front of you and tell you, sit down. I'm like, wow. So, but they'll call you, but you would not answer, because at that moment, that is not what that's not the solution you are looking for. You want to jog to a place. But let's say someone notices that, the clothes you want to use and jog, maybe it have tear somewhere or something, and they walk up to you and be like, auntie, this thing don't tear. I know, say you don't know. You'd listen to that person because that person accurately gets your problem in that moment. So as brands, or as people who would manage brand communications or do strategy for business, you should be able to help your clients and the organizations narrow their gaze down. Seth Godin would say that you should look for your minimum viable audience. Look for your minimum viable audience. That's one person that you want to solve his his problem. That one person that you want to solve that concerns you. Speak as though you are only going to serve that one person. Like Sterling Bank will promise you that there are one person bank. I mean, what is to call that their tagline? One customer bank and everything. So that the promise is that they are going to treat you as though you are the only customer that they have. Now, and in the process of doing this, what you should always endeavor to do is to defend your why, because that's your core. That is what your whole essence resonates around. So there would be a struggle, or there would also be the struggle for your customer's heart. That's what we are about. We are struggling to get our customers' heart. We're struggling to get their loyalty. We're struggling to get them to talk about us in their privacy. We're struggling to get them to talk about us when they gather with their friends. So the fight is to get our customers' heart. But in getting our customers' hearts, we should consistently defend our why, because we heard. Okay. Please, where did you miss me?
Defend your why.
Hey, and I've been talking. Hey, what happened? Network will not shame me in the name of Jesus. All right. Defend your why. Sure, can you start back like this? All right. So as I was saying, there's always a struggle to get our customers' heart, and in that struggle, we should always ensure that we are consistently defending our why. Emmanuel, what happened? You said no. We are consistently defending our why. So even in your pursuit of, okay, yeah, and I was explaining how that doing that, you are thinning the herd. You are in our Greek, you are thinning. Yeah, it's thinning now. Yeah, you are thinning the herd. You are weeding down and you are weeding out people that are not your true customers, or that are not that viable audience, or they are not that viable audience, right? So you're thinning the head. So some of the questions you'd be asking, so why are you reacting and why should you react? So your competitor did this in your said market space. Why are you reacting? Why should you react? If you're not clear on these, and then it might be a misfire. So how do you defend your why? Because our competition is acting isn't a good enough reason. So because so an example would be because Glo did an ad that was catchy. MTN is like, we have to beat this ad, and then they broke the bank trying to replicate or do a better ad or something, or put out a better communications material or something in that sense. So because someone else is doing it and that person is potentially in your market, or is also in your market, is not a good enough reason for you to do the same thing. So instead of doing the same thing, go back to your core and see how you can further strengthen your customers' commitment to you. Now, I know Precious talked on this emotions the last time. That was last week. So emotions are fickle, right? And people make decisions based on emotions. They primarily make decisions based on emotions. Then they come around to rationalize those emotions and give you a logical backing. All right. Think something fishy is going on here. I'll give you a logical backing. I have like 10 minutes to the end of this meeting. Then I'll send in another meeting link. I'll send in another. Then we'll just rejoin. I don't know. Maybe I need to renew my payment for this Zoom. In the name of Jesus. Now, so as moving on, as you said, emotions are fickle. People are more emotional than we would like to admit. However, emotions guide our choices or our choice of brand. Now, these emotions, as I said, they are fickle, and we are one bad experience away from losing a customer. An example would be Zenith Bank. I think in the last in the last few weeks, a lot of people have been coming out to talk about how Zenith Bank has wanted to put them in trouble. I think something similar almost happened to me a while. I think last year, I went to Chicken Rep to buy something. Oh, and we have transferred the money from the house to the card that we'll use. It was the First Bank card, and we got there. I and my friend, we got there. We have bought what we want to buy. No, yeah, we have bought what we want to buy, and we tried the card. It did not load. It did not go. It said insufficient funds. Card that we funded, card that we've loaded, and then and guess what? So we had to like, and thank God it's not like rice or anything that we got. It was things that we could return and tell them that, whoa, we are going back to our house. At least we carry our shame and went back. It was the next day, the next evening, that the money reflected in the account. Wow. Well, so and since then I've not used First Bank. I have their card. I have an account with them. I've not used First Bank since then. Am I supposed to be mentioning the name of the bank in a live recording? But yes, so emotions are fickle, and we are one bad experience away from losing a customer. So if you have consistently been a pain in your customers' ass, or being the cause of heartache for your customers, once a better solution presents itself, or they would already begin to look for alternatives in that moment. And if in their search for an alternative, they find a better solution, they are gone. They are gone. They are not going to wait for you. So your job is to communicate consistently to reinforce the emotions, the emotional connection you already have with your customers. Okay, emotional. I'm emotional, so I can mention their names. Wow, that's exciting. Yeah. So that's a run through of today's of what we were supposed to like do last week. So any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So my question is, so you said how that you should defend our why and not react, to your brand, to the other competitors and all that. But you would also not say that there are no competitors in the market. There are competitors that, even if they are not directly pushing out their heart, pushing out their stories to affect you, they are still doing it. So for example, McDonald's and Burger King, how that, even if they are not necessarily going toe to toe at each other's throat, they know that, okay, McDonald's is my competitor. Burger King knows that, McDonald's knows that. So my question is, how do you stay ahead of the curve? Because you know that, so last week, Precious was talking about being loyal to the brand and all that. So how do you stay ahead of the curve? Because if you say that you are not responding over a period of time, people are okay. Like you said, emotions are fickle. People would move on in that sense. So let us imagine that Apple is not producing. Apple decides that, okay, for the next 2-3 years, I'm not going to produce any iPhone product. People would move on. People would check out what Samsung. People would check out what Google Pixel is and all those things. So how do you stay ahead of the curve, even when you don't want to?
All right. So how do you stay ahead of the curve, right? Now, to answer that question, let me share. I have like 5 minutes before this thing closes off again. But let me share a particular ad. So you used McDonald's and Burger King as an example. They actually have they go toe to toe. So the thing is not it's not that you. Sorry, my network is going on and off.
Did you hear my question?
Yeah, I got your question.
Okay.
And I don't even know why my network is misbehaving. It does not used to misbehave before. So I'm going to share something. I'm going to share my screen and show you something. I hope I hope this is the document. No, this is not the ad. I might be no. Mumbo. Let me look for it. It's I think I was reading and I saw something. Oh, where did I see it? So it was actually an ad done by what's the name of this? Done by Burger King, either Burger King or McDonald's. Come, let me check my browser history. I had to check history again. Okay, yes, I've remembered. Or maybe I'll just, when I find it, I'll just send it in. Jesus. What have I been searching? I can't even find it. So if I see it, I'll share with us. but I'll just try to narrate it as easy. Can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll just try to narrate it as best I can, as best as I can. So in this particular ad, what they did was this. So I think it was either Burger King or so. So they have like a fan Facebook page that they have, like a closed fan Facebook page. And so I think in the first, they did like, I should be able to find this thing, because trying to explain it now is not doing justice to what I need. Okay, let me just try. So what they did was this: they had an ad where they wanted to get their customers. They wanted to know who their customers are. So I've forgotten the first part of the ad, but they had another hint at getting their loyal customers. So what they did was this: they sent out, or they gave a pool. Yes, there was like a pool on the internet before Twitter pools and all these other pools or something. But you had like two choices. You could either like the Facebook page. I think it was Burger King. You could either like Burger King's Facebook page or get a Big Mac. So a Big Mac is McDonald's signature recipe. So